Got another one today. This is a 2007 Silverado 4.8 short single cab. I think all it has is a cold air intake and a set of 373 gears. I'm downloading the tune right now. I'm gonna see how bad off the stock stuff is first. I'm gonna go log it first before I even remotely flash this thing, and then go from there. I think this one will be fairly easy. That's if everything's working. It's not cammed or anything, so it should be pretty straightforward. But as always, I always start off by tuning in speed density mode. I tune the virtual volumetric efficiency tables first, and then I turn the MAF back on, and then we do a MAF only tune that, and then you turn it back to blended, and then you kind of adjust whatever you need from there. So I'm gonna let this thing download, and we're gonna get started on this one. All right, so I just downloaded this tune, and I didn't modify it or anything. I just started it up. I just wanted to see what everything is looking like. His long-term fuel trims are 20%, so trying to add 20% fuel. I wouldn't imagine a cold air intake doing that, but I could be wrong. So I am going to reset them, and then we'll go for a little ride, and then we're gonna go from there. And then I'll turn off the mass airflow sensor, and then tune the VE tables. But I'm just checking and see if he has any DTCs or anything like that, any codes. Let's see what we got here. Wheel speed sensor. Nah, can't really do anything about that. So, but we're gonna go for a ride real quick and see how this thing does. All right, going around the block. Ooh. This thing shifts pretty hard, actually. It like bark second. So, all right. See, that's why I always go for a ride first. I want to make sure that the tranny shifts good and all that stuff. I want to see what I'm getting myself into, really. So we're gonna go. Oh yeah, it shifts really hard in second. Jeez. Okay. And you know, some of the transmission stuff you shouldn't even. I mean, you won't even have to touch it either. So we're gonna go around the block here. It still looks like it's running just lean. It's probably just from that intake. There's a bone stock tune. I was looking at it off camera, and man, that thing shifts really hard in a second. I think the speedometer's way off. So, all right. Well, let me get pulled over up here. I'm gonna set the camera up on the laptop again, and I'll show you how to do virtual volumetric efficiency tables, and how to set them up, or we got a water leak right here. Well, how to log in speed density mode. That's what I'm gonna show you guys. So I'm gonna get pulled over right here. Let me take the camera down, and I'm gonna get this camera set up on the laptop. All right, so you can see it's running really lean, and this is just a long-term and short-term fuel trim setup right here. This is just a mixed one, so it kind of just shows you it's running pretty lean, 22% in some spots and 10% in others. So it definitely does need some improvement here. So in order to go into speed density only mode with a Gen 4, it's a little bit different than a Gen 3, but same concept. So what we're going to do is we're going to fail the mass airflow sensor right here. So this one has 2 on here, so we're going to put it on 2 hertz on the high, and then the low we're going to put it on 1 hertz. And then we're going to go over here to DTCs. We're going to go to P0103, and we're going to do that one on mil on first error, just like Gen 3. We're going to go over here to engine. We're going to go over here to fuel. And we're going to go over here to oxygen sensors, and we're going to turn off the long-term fuel trims on this. So on these Gen 4s, they'll go up to like 493 degrees. I'll just put them at 400, And then on the maximum one, learn is disabled above this engine coolant temperature, so I'm going to put it at 10. So it's not going to go to 10. So now we know that the long-term fuel trims are going to be turned off. So, and then next step is going to go over here to cutoff and DFCO. We're going to make sure this deceleration fuel cutoff is turned off. So again, on the maximum one, put it on 400. And then below this ETC, DEFCO will be disabled. It's at 77 degrees. That's probably not going to be a real big issue. And then that is it. So it is going to be in virtual volumetric efficiency speed density mode. And then that table is here under the edit table. You go to edit at the top right here and you'll see virtual volumetric efficiency. And it is just like a VE table, but a lot more resolution, a lot more stuff going on here. You can read it. That's a stock one right there. We're going to make this a lot smoother and it's going to run a lot better. So let's get this thing flashed and be in speed density mode. All right, we're in speed density mode and it is still lean, so it does need work. It is 15 to 17% lean across the board, but I'm gonna go ahead and go for a ride real quick and do some various RPMs and loads. I forgot to turn my shift pressure down. I bet you had to rebuild or something. It's probably just hitting pretty hard. And then we're gonna adjust it. So I'll show you how to. I'm just gonna log it. You log it just like a Gen 3, just various RPMs and loads, and it's really just filling in all those cells. So I'm gonna go for a little ride. Just go through the gears, you know, manually, or just go stop and go traffic. And then when I get to adjusting it, I'll show you guys how to adjust it. It's a little different on a Gen 4 motor, but same concept. Just a lot more information to sift through as far as the tables and stuff. So not too bad. If you've done a Gen 3, you can do a Gen 4. But let me get this logged real good, and then I think the next flash we're gonna turn that pressure down on the 1-2 shit. That's pretty harsh. I can't be good on anything. But yeah, let me get this logged real quick. Okay, so you can see how lean this thing is across the board. So it's pretty bad. I'm gonna go in here and stop scanning here. It was a pretty short log too. It was only like 8 minutes. I just decided I'm gonna go ahead and adjust it right now. It's pretty lean. So let me set this camera up and then let's start adjusting. All right, so what you want to do with this data is on the short-term fuel trims that you're logging, go over here, right click it, copy, or Control C, and then we're gonna go over to the tune, go to edit, go to virtual volumetric efficiency. So that'll be your VVE table. Select the entire thing and paste special, and you can do by half or percent. I'm gonna do percent on this one since it's so far out. So this is all the cells that changed, and if you actually look at it on the map, it's gonna look pretty rough. You do not want it to look like that. So what we're gonna do is select the entire thing again. We're gonna smooth it, put the smooth button up there. We're gonna look at it. It's looking better. We're gonna calculate the coefficients. I'm gonna smooth it some more because I don't like the way it looks. Calculate the coefficients. And boom, we have an entire table that is ready to rock and roll. So I'm gonna copy this table from the manifold switch closed, and then I'm gonna go to manifold switch open, and I'm gonna paste it to this one, and then click calculate coefficients again, and it'll match the closed map here. So both of them are the same now. Exit out of this, save it, and then write it. And that's all I gotta do. Rinse and repeat. All right, I just got it flashed, and we're gonna go for another ride here. I lowered that shift pressure because God, it was awful. And then I adjusted the VVE tables. So let's go for another ride and let's see what she do. Oh yeah, it's already looking better. Let me roll this window up. Already looking better. So that's good. We got some green now instead of some red, but it's not like rich, so that's really good. Oh yeah, it's looking awesome now. Drop it down a gear here, get it back into some RPM here. I gotta check the speedometer too, see if it's actually correct too, because it's got a different gear set in it. I think from the factory it had 323s. Somebody went in and it looked like they changed it to 373s, but they didn't do it correctly, so the speedometer was way off. Oh yeah, that's way better right there on the VVE tables. Awesome. Oh yeah. Yeah, let me log this. I'll show you another adjustment too. The next one we're gonna do is just multiply by half. So the closer I get to it, the less adjustment you're gonna need. Let me make my U-turn here at my little favorite spot here. Put it back in drive. There we go. Right. Oh yeah, it's looking a lot better right there. Yeah, it's within like 2% down low, so that's really good actually. So yeah, let me finish logging this real quick, and then I'll get back to you on the next adjustment. Oh, that's a bad angle. All right, how about that one? Okay, so we got some more data. Still a little lean right there, but a lot's better through here. So what we're gonna do is this exact same thing. Copy it, disconnect from the vehicle. And then we're gonna go to the VVE table again. We're gonna paste it. We're gonna multiply by half on this one. And before I even calculate the coefficients, I actually like to look at it. So that's a lot better, but it's still real peaky. So what we're gonna do is smooth it. Hit the smooth button. Looks pretty good. Calculate coefficients. That looks pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and copy this one and then paste it to the manifold switch open. Calculate the coefficients on that one. And you're done. Save it. Flash it. Rinse and repeat. Alright, got her flashed. Let's go for another ride. Still in speed density mode. Still tuning the VE tables. Which I think this will probably be the last log on speed density. I think we can probably switch it back to normal here. That's looking pretty good. So let's get this thing logged, and we will switch it back to math. All right, so that's looking pretty good. That's not too bad. We got a little bit of richness right there. That's not too terrible. A little bit of leanness. That's like 2% or so. 4% in some areas. I'm gonna call that good actually. That's not too bad. I'm gonna copy and paste this and then smooth it out, and then I'm gonna turn it back to the math. So let me copy and paste this real quick, get it all adjusted, and then I'll show you how to turn the math back on. Okay, so what you're gonna do is go to your engine diagnostic. You're gonna go back to your airflow table, and this was at, remember I have that as found, so I always save an as found. Open it, go to the compare file, and just copy it. So you can actually go to the compare file, hit 0 on it, and it won't make it different. Let's see, boom. And then we're gonna go back to the DTCs, make it not go fail on the high on the first error. So it's P0103. So this one right here, turn it back to mill on second error, go to engine, airflow, dynamic. We're gonna turn this to 200 RPM and then 100 RPM. I only tune the VE tables up to 4,000 RPM. I don't ever just like, if it's gonna be a blended system, I only tune them up to 4,000 RPM. If that. I don't even go past that because the mass air meter takes over after 4,000 RPM on a stock blended system. So I don't ever change this when I'm doing VE tables, only when I'm doing math tables. So to make it go math only, you have to change it to this. So 200 RPM and 100 RPM usually does the trick. And then you're gonna leave the fueling tables alone again with the oxygen sensors. We're gonna leave long-term fuel trims off, and we're gonna leave the deceleration fuel cutoff turned off. So let's get this thing flashed. Key on, engine off. I'm gonna save it first because I didn't save it. Save, right vehicle. Didn't change anything on the transmission, so don't ride it. And then we're gonna ride it, and it's gonna take about 45 seconds. Well, I didn't realize my battery died on the GoPro. I had to run back home and get a battery. I finished the MAF tuning. I noticed his tachometer is now way off. I don't know why. I think it just happened. It reads like 2,000 RPM when it's idling, so I don't know if it's like a GM thing or what. I didn't touch anything on the tune with it, so we're turning it back to blended right now, and then we're gonna go see how the transmission shifts after all this stuff, and we'll do just a final assessment of it. So I'm actually just turning everything back on, all the long-term fuel trims and everything, turning all that stuff back on, and let's see how it does. So far, so good. Just gotta get on the highway right now to get this air intake temp down. It's way up there. It's like 158. We're gonna cruise on the highway for a second, see if we can get that to come down. If not, I think he's probably got a problem with the air intake temp. I don't remember it being that high. Oh, it's coming down. There it goes. 154. Yeah, it's all right. The little metal pipes don't do that well under the hoods. So, man, that thing climbed really high. And that'll pull timing too if you don't adjust it. But I mean, I usually leave that stuff kind of conservative on that. So you don't want it running a bunch of timing. So especially with hot air coming through it. So it's gonna take it a minute to come down. It's still at like 150. So it's not even that hot today. It's, I don't know, 65 or so outside. So, but anyway, yeah, it's doing pretty good. Cooling temps coming down too. It's 190. Training temps 200. So it'll be all right. I think it's got a stock cooler and stuff on it. Oh yeah, there it goes. It's going way down now. So that's good. But yeah, let me. The training shift's good. The timing looks all right. It's running fine. So the fuel trims look a lot better now, so than they were. They were way messed up. So let me get this thing back to the house. Contact the customer, tell them it's all good. See how she does at wide open throttle. I think it'll be all right. I just wanted to see if you got any spark plug or anything. Yeah, it runs pretty good. I think I'm gonna bump the pressure up just a little bit on the shifts there. It's kind of soft, so I'm gonna bump the pressure up just a little bit and call it good. I did have one thing I wanted to show. This is kind of an oddball one too. This one actually has a high and a low MAF table. Ignore the red right now. It's actually just warming up. So in this tune here, if you go to airflow, it actually has a high and a low, so you're gonna have to log both of them or split it, however you want to do it. You can actually log one and just split it where you know you're going to split it at, but I just prefer to log both of them and then just adjust them accordingly. Just a little tidbit of information right there for you. So we are on the final drive of this thing, so I upped the line pressure a little bit. I want to see if it shifts good. I don't know why it was shifting really hard when I first got it. It had an ABS light on and now it doesn't, so maybe that has something to do with it. But I bumped it up just a tad. I let the car cool down quite a bit. I just did a brake job on a Suburban, so we're gonna go ahead and just do the final run of it, and then I'm gonna call the customer and tell them to come get it, and it should be ready to rock and roll. So yeah, let's get on the road. All right, we're gonna do a little wide open throttle pull. cars. Slow down just a tad. I'm gonna make sure it downshifts to first. That's what I want. And I want it to, so we'll go 20. There it goes. He's got on there, I think it's just breathing hot air. He's some kind of ducting or something. I mean, I haven't really been sitting in traffic that long, and it's like 120 degrees, you know. I think he needs to get some kind of little scoop or some kind of air induction going on to that intake, or get rid of the metal tubing that's on it and run the stock tubing intake. That's what I would probably do, just to get rid of that temperature that's in it. So I'm gonna pull over here. I'm gonna check that log out real quick and see what it was shifting at. I think it was actually shifting right on point, and I think we're done with this one. All right, so we're actually headed back to the house right now. I made it shift a little quicker. I didn't like how it kind of hung a little bit, so it feels pretty snappy right now. It doesn't shift hard or anything. That's what I want. I like that stuff. I don't like anything shifting hard. I hate that stuff. So we're gonna do one more bottom throttle pull. I'm gonna see if there's any knock. Shouldn't be. And then I'll let the customer know in about 30 minutes I'll be done. So let's see what it does again. Slow down here. All right, here we go. No knock, so we're good to go. I'm gonna inform him about that air intake temps. That's pretty ridiculous. Oh, I also lowered the fan schedule just a tad. Oh, sorry, that's probably in your eyes. I lowered the fan schedule just a tad. These come on by percentages, so I made it come on at like 10%, a little higher, or like just 10%, a little, yeah, just up to by 10%. So. That's the cool thing about these little Gen 4 trucks that come with electric fans from the factory. So that's a pretty awesome deal. You can actually make them come on too when you shut the key off for a certain amount of time, if it's at an X amount of temperature or whatever. So pretty cool deal. So that's gonna be it for this one. I'm gonna just head home, and that's it. So if you like this kind of thing, go ahead and like it. If you don't, dislike it. If you're not subscribed to me, please subscribe. Until then, or until another car, see you later.